Make you alive. Hi guys, welcome back, and today we're looking at the next two Goosebumps books, starting with...
Piano Lessons Can Be Murder!
And then The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Actually, really like the art in this one. The color looks really good. Occasionally, some of them look fairly cheesy and goofy in the other kids' books. But this actually, I think, is a pretty neat cover here. You can see that on different work here. So, let's go with that one first.
So number 13, lucky number 13, Practice Till You Drop Dead. When Jerry finds a dusty old piano in the attic of his new house, his parents offer to pay for lessons. At first, taking piano seems like a cool idea. But there's something creepy about Jerry's piano teacher, Dr. Shriek. Something really creepy, something Jerry can't quite put his finger on. Then Jerry hears the stories, terrifying stories, about the students at Dr. Shriek's music school, students who went in for a lesson and never came out. What'd you think of this one?
Middle of the road.
Blech.
I do think it... it's another one they gave another 6 out of 10. That's 2 in a row that are kind of... I think it did...
I give this one a 7.
Did you? I think the good part about it was, I think it was good at capturing the feeling that a child that age would feel of both performance anxiety and the sort of trepidation when it comes to having to practice something new and like being forced into that, and like the work involved and the idea of not being good enough and not seeing progress fast enough, and the idea of just that whole concept of wanting to move on and being stuck in it because your parents like force you to do it, the lessons.
And ghosts.
Yes,
and homicidal
but
teachers.
But the supernatural element is just trying to show that inner feeling in a tangible way, in a visual way that a child can interpret. But I think it did an okay job with that aspect, but I think the overall package for me was kind of very middle of the road, not that memorable, but not terrible.
Yeah. In other news, there's no dog in this one, but there is a cat.
Oh, there you go.
The first cat that's a pet.
That's a pet, okay.
That's a
So
pet.
it's not the first cat. Yeah,
Because Sarah Beth does it. That doesn't count.
Okay.
But first cat. Very exciting. But the cat, nobody likes the cat. The cat's like an evil asshole.
Yeah. All cats are evil assholes, though, so it doesn't, Every cat is.
I don't know. I wasn't like a huge fan of this one.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was well written. I wasn't very sure where they were going with the therapist. The therapist kind of just like drops off the face of the earth. We don't care. The ending was kind of predictable, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I like the ghost.
Yeah. But yeah, I think overall it was a mixed package, but it was just it was good. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing. It was just not bad. It was typical Goosebumps. It wasn't anything great. This I thought was much better. Again, not one of my absolute favorites so far, but definitely one of the better ones. So what big teeth you have. There's something happening. There's something horrible happening in Fever Swamp. Something really horrible. It started with the strange howling at night. Then there was the rabbit torn to shreds. Everyone thinks Grady's new dog is responsible. After all, he looks just like a wolf, and he seems a little on the wild side. Dogs just want to have fun. But Grady knows his dog is just a regular old dog, and most dogs don't howl at the moon, or disappear at midnight, or change into terrifying creatures when the moon is full. Or do they?
I don't think that's what happens to
Or are they
most
involved
dogs.
in a love triangle with a vampire?
No.
But yeah, this actually, I think, one of the good things that this did, that some of them do, but not all of them do, it raised the stakes.
Yes.
Like, I feel like it felt like you had a character in mortal danger.
Yes.
And it doesn't always feel that way. They might seem creepy, it might seem spooky, it might seem scary, but not all of them really give you that feel of like, wow, this character could die. I mean, I know he's not going to because it's a Goosebumps book for kids, but like, it gives you that feeling, and I feel like as a young elementary school kid reading it, you wouldn't necessarily always make that conclusion, and you would be emotionally attached to it enough to actually have that fear. I think this actually got the frightening part of Goosebumps on a child's level, like really, really well, to where it still has a sort of spooky vibe throughout the whole thing. So I think it did that well.
I think the one thing it did not do well was his friends. I think Grady's a weird name. But I think his friends weren't fleshed out, and I think they needed to be. Just based on what happens in the story.
Yeah.
I think they should have been more.
Yeah.
It should have been something more.
I think that stuck out a little bit more only because it's been done better in previous Goosebumps books where you have groups of kids. Sometimes it's, a pair of siblings. Sometimes usually it's like a pair, and sometimes there are other friends on the outside, but it's usually like a pair is really the focus in most of them. And I feel like it doesn't click quite as well. It's not quite as fleshed out as in other ones, but I don't think it was that part.
No, it wasn't
poorly. I think
that was one of the weaker parts.
Yes, one of the weaker parts of a good book. Yeah.
There was an older sibling, like a 16-year-old sibling, as opposed to like.
Yeah, because even when they're siblings,
they're usually around the same age or a lot younger.
Side, yeah.
But I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I think the father was a little weird, letting your kids go out into a swamp by themselves.
Depending what you're used to and where you live.
They're from Vermont.
Weird. But I mean, within the context of the story, like where they were going and things, like I don't know, I didn't think it was that weird. Yeah. Once things start happening and that kind of stuff, then it's a little weird. But in the general sense, I don't think it was that weird. Like kids explore or whatever. But no, I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, so I liked it a little more. I think the horror element was best of that, just because it truly like felt like something could happen. So I think that was pretty good. So yeah, 2 other like pretty good ones this week. This day. I don't want to say. I'm so used to saying week for all my Laser Talk videos. I keep saying week, but day, because you'll see us again tomorrow for more Goosebumps.